guys. Welcome back to Jedi Fallen Order for some more databank reading. In this one, maybe we will get through all the rest of the entries. Maybe not. We'll have to see as we go. But at the most, it's like 2 more videos, and then we can move on to the tactical guide. So, the first planet of this video is Ilum. And the first category is Ilum terrain. Entry number 1, Geodes. Ilum is naturally abundant in geological formations found within mineral-rich underground rock. Billions of years of accumulated mineral matter deposited from hydrothermal fluids have infused the rock walls with valuable constituents, including rare crystals. It's quite a few difficult words for a non-native speaker. Number 2, Geyser. Volcanic activity on Ilum forms hydrogeological vents of hot water ejected turbulently, often accompanied by steam. These geysers may change in size or duration based on active volcanic episodes and ongoing mineral deposition. Number 3, Kyber crystals. Powerful Kyber crystals grow naturally on Ilum, one of the rare planets in the galaxy where they may be found. Such crystals resonate with concentrated energy in a unique manner through the Force, exhibiting a collective consciousness that allows them to communicate with one another and living beings. As part of Jedi training, younglings were sent to the crystal caves of Ilum to mine these crystals in order to construct their own lightsabers. And number 4, minerals. The cavern systems under Ilum are rich in mineral substances formed during ancient geothermal evolution. The ice caves are home to several mineral classes native to the planet. Moving on to the next category, Jedi Studies. Number 1, Master Mar T. Kamron. A memorial placed at the meditation site often used by the venerable Jedi Master Mar T. Bucky Kamron. He returned here many times over the course of his life to reflect on his adventures and achievements. Number 2, Light-enhancing crystals. Crystals arranged within the temple enhance light to focus heat on specific areas. As the light beam melts the ice, it opens hidden passageways known only to the Jedi. Number 3, Gathering Room. The Gathering Room lies at the entrance to the crystal caves. Used primarily as a meeting area, Jedi Masters brought the younglings here for instruction and meditation before they began their sacred search for Kyber crystals. built by the Jedi Masters who constructed the temple on Ilum 1,000 years ago. This window magnified natural outside light for heat. A beam of intense light generated through the large glass portal was then directed to specific areas of ice that melted under the heat. Number 5. A statue of a Jedi Master. A statue of a venerable Jedi Master adorns the central chamber leading to the Crystal Cave. Carved hundreds of years ago, it serves as a symbol to the sacred wisdom, enlightenment, and perseverance of the once great Jedi Order. Number 6. Jedi Devices. Jedi devices were constructed within this ancient temple to control certain conditions or activate protected passages. Many such tools exist using basic levers, swivel arms, and rudimentary objects that, when positioned properly, will achieve a specific purpose. And the next category, called the Gathering. Number 1. Enter the Gathering. Younglings came here for the sacred rite of the Gathering, a test all Jedi must pass to build their lightsaber. Number 2. Finding the crystals. A crystal discovered by a youngling, but mysteriously left behind. Number 3. Youngling Pride. This bag belonged to a Jedi Master who tried to provide their youngling with wisdom. Number 4. Youngling Afraid. A supply pouch left by a youngling dealing with fear and frustration. Number 5. Angry Youngling. A pack dropped by a frustrated youngling. Some succeed, but some fail. This one gave in to her anger. And lastly, number 6, Youngling Lost. Remains of a camp. A Jedi Master was concerned for a youngling that was missing in the caves. And the last category for Ilum, called Empire on Ilum. Number 1, Empire Mining Operation. Imperial mining operations scour sites once considered sacred by the Jedi, devouring the planet's resources for their own corrupt, secret agenda. And number 2, Imperial Machinery. Imperial machinery generates power and controls interior temperatures of their industrial operations by harnessing geothermal energy from the planet's core. The process results in harmful byproducts and is highly destructive to the pristine ecosystem. Okay, that was it for Ilum. Moving on to Fortress Inquisitorius, with the first category, Fortress Inquisitorius, and the first entry, also called Fortress Inquisitorius. A heavily armed underwater fortress concealed within the Black Seas on the shadowy world of Nur. The stronghold serves as the central seat of the Imperial Inquisitor program. The Emperor Emperor's ruthless crusade to eradicate the Jedi Order from every corner of the galaxy. To maintain a public perception of peace and security, the existence of the fortress is intentionally hidden from the Empire at large, although rumors swirl of a dark site where Force users go to die, or worse. Number 2. Detention Cell. Deep within the Inquisitorius detention level, captured Jedi and Force-sensitive beings experience the next level of interrogation, torture, and experimentation. The brutal internment of this black abyss leaves those confined to suffer a nightmare eternity until their final abominable fate. Number 3. Imperial Dojo. The deadly training room of the Inquisitorius, where Inquisitors and Purge troopers hone their lethal skills. Through a merciless indoctrination of combat and strength, the sinister agents of the Empire prepare for their sworn mission. The fear-based, dark and abusive nature of this training is diametrically opposed to that of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. And lastly, number 4, Interrogation Chamber. The central interrogation chamber of the fortress is a torture room where captured Jedi and Force users undergo a menacing procedure to transform them into Inquisitors. Under direct orders of Emperor Palpatine, this facility was specifically designed to psychologically and physically drain a prisoner's will, forcing them to acquiesce to the evil indoctrination of the Inquisitorius. This is where Jedi die and Inquisitors are born. And the second and last category of the fortress is called security systems. Number 1, laser gates. Inquisitorius laser cell gates are a vital component to the sophisticated fortress security apparatus. These impervious barriers were constructed for strict confinement of detainees in all levels of the stronghold. After several failed attempts and one successful escape, advanced modifications were made to the system per the Grand Inquisitor's command. Number 2, submerged section. Analysis of these pipes indicates that pressure buildup from an open airlock caused them to rupture. This breach could only have occurred if the shield system was compromised, rendering it unable to protect the fortress from hydrostatic pressure. Data suggests the fortress may be vulnerable to flooding if airlocks are opened while its shield system is disabled. Number 3, security systems. The security systems within the fortress are a complex network controlling bridges, wings, gates, and portals. By employing a multi-tier fail-safe structure, the Empire controls every corner of the facility, providing immediate response to any breach. If necessary, the entire fortress may be purposefully compromised or flooded to prevent the escape of prisoners. And lastly, number 4, control room. Sectioned wings of the fortress are designed for maximum security and stability in extreme undersea conditions. A complex system of partitions provides the ability to flood an entire wing or specific sector in response to any escape attempt by a high-value detainee. Structurally reinforced shielding is able to withstand an external breach or change in pressure of any depth. At any depth, sorry. Okay. I just had a quick look at how long the character entries are. And I think it's best to leave this for a separate video, because they're all pretty long and there are quite a few characters. So I think I will do the characters and Empire in the next video, and now I will do Cordova's journey. So excuse the slight breach of order, but I'm trying to not make these videos too long. So we will start with Cordova's journey, Archive 1, Discovery. Entry number 1, an ancient sphere. My friend, I've unearthed. Is that how you say it? Unearthed. My friend, I've unearthed a curious artifact. An ancient sphere capable of storing and conducting massive amounts of energy. Whatever civilization crafted this must be the same that created the seemingly impenetrable structure nearby. I believe studying this sphere may yield the information I need to discover who they were and why they built such a landmark. Number 2, Sage, Vault, and Tomb. My friend, examinations of the sphere proved fruitful. I've found similar relics across Bogano's surface, including a precious few with glyphs. After much study, I've discerned a pattern and begun to translate their language. Within their glyphs, I've determined the words sage, vault, and tomb. There is more, what appears to be coordinates to the Zepho system. Perhaps this is the same ancient civilization which abounded there. And lastly, the sages. My friend, in the rotation since I left Bogano, I've uncovered more about the Zepho than I once believed possible. This planet, their home world, has been a revelation. It appears many, yet not all the Zepho, could wield the Force. They called it the Life Wind, and those who wielded it, sages. 3 names appear with frequency: Eilram, Miktrull, and Cruchet. It seems these sages held esteemed positions within their culture. I've informed the Council to lukewarm reception. They have become too focused on Jedi history, but the history of the Force belongs to us all. Okay, moving on to Archive 2, Miktrull. Number 1, Sage Miktrull. My friend, what I found here is disconcerting. It seems these candles were offerings brought to this tomb in exaltation of the sage Miktrull. At first I believed them votives to the life wind, but the further I delve into this tomb, the less the evidence supports this. And yet there is one gift that intrigues me, statuary of Zepho, holding circular objects much like spheres. Though much of this tomb is well preserved, these are uniformly destroyed. An interesting puzzle. Number 2. Magnets. My friend, these devices appear to simulate this planet's gravitational pull. I can't help but see it as a motif. This place, less a tomb and more a temple to one ruler's pride. I found repeated glyphs with the same word, Astrium, always near damaged statues. I believe this Astrium was once a ubiquitous sacred symbol, perhaps even linked to the vault. And number 3, the key to the vault. My friend, I finally found an intact representation of the most sacred Zepho artifact. A depiction of Miktrull at the vault on Bogano. You can see the object in their hand. I believe it allows a force wielder to perceive the mysteries of the vault. It is the key and the guide, the Zepho Astrium. But who destroyed images of it and why? It requires further research. However, the next step is clear. Find an Astrium, if any still exist. Archive 3, Dathomir. Number 1, Discovering Dathomir. My friend, I recently discovered that Zepho had some interest in Dathomir. Strange for such a culture to have any sort of fascination with the place so dark. There is more to be discovered on Dathomir. Number 2, Kujet's tomb. My friend, we've reached the tomb of Kujet in search of an Astrium. It is more secluded than even I would have thought. It seems the way in was secret even during the time of the Zepho, a contrast from the ostentatious tomb of Miktrull, yet not a welcome one. The Night Sisters of Dathomir granted me passage, but even they warned me against these ruins. Something dark transpired here. I can feel it. And number 3, Shrouded in Darkness. My friend, I have never been one to shy away from the pursuit of knowledge, but the shadow and the dark side lies heavy in this tomb. I've uncovered Kujet's legacy, a ruthless leader who destroyed the Astriums and lives of any who opposed Sage's rule. These Zepho were once Kujet's enemies, brave rebels who stood against tyranny. Forgive me. I've spent too many rotations on this planet. My mind is beginning to slip. I can go no further. I must return to Zepho. Archive 4, Eilram. Number 1, Tomb of Eilram. My friend, I believe this to be the earliest Zepho site we've encountered yet. Despite my revelations, I cannot chase the Bogano vault from my mind. Its visions shape the direction of an entire culture. I must understand why. Number 2. Sage Eilram. My friend, this tomb is utterly fascinating. It once served as a proving ground for 4 sensitive Zepho sages, but was converted into a space to honor their remains. And yet nothing received greater honor here than the Force itself, the life wind as they called it. It's beautiful to see. And number 3, an old friend. My friend, after my analysis of the architecture in Eilram's tomb, I confirmed that Zepho had contact with Kashyyyk. It's time to call on an old friend. There's a good chance Chieftain Torful can provide the information I seek. Archive 5, Astrium. Number 1, Shio Bird. My friend, as Torful led us here, he spoke of a glorious creature called the Shio Bird. He said the bird is the forest's protector, so rare it's nearly legendary. I would dearly love to research this creature further, but the Astrium must be my priority. I hope to one day return and search for the Shio with Torful. Number 2, Origin Tree. My friend, never have I seen a view more exquisite than atop this tree. The climb has given me time to reflect. It was the will of the Force that I found Bogano, and that I am here now. There is a greater journey ahead. And number 3, Astrium. My friend, I found my quarry atop Kashyyyk's origin tree, the Astrium. This relic is the key to the vault on Bogano. The dark side clouded every attempt at finding one on Dathomir, but the Force provided a new path. Archive 6, Vision. Number 1, the premonition. My friend, entering the vault gave me a premonition just as it did for the Zepho. I saw the fall of the Jedi, the overwhelming power of the dark side spreading across the galaxy. We must act quickly. I need to inform the Council. And number 2, acquiring the holocron. My friend, I flew with all haste to Coruscant and presented my findings to the Council. Despite my persistence, despite my research, they do not take this threat seriously. Only one person believed in me. My old confidant, Jocasta Nu. She entrusted me with a holocron from the Jedi archives, a secret copy of her list of young Force sensitives. And the last archive, Archive 7, Goodbye. Number 1, my friend. BD1, this may be the last you see of me. I can sense the doom of the Jedi Order is upon us. I must leave the holocron behind. If anything happens to me, I trust that another will come to find it. You agreed to guard this secret at the cost of your own memories. I will never forget that sacrifice. I believe in you, as I always have. If another Jedi comes to Bogano, You will be their guide. Thank you. Goodbye, my friend. And the last entry. Secrets of the Vault. My friend, my name is Jedi Master Cordova. The Bacano Vault, constructed by the Zepho millennia ago, granted me a vision of the Jedi's doom. To preserve the order, I've hidden a holocron detailing the names and locations of all known young Force sensitives deep within the vault. To access the holocron, you must seek out the tombs of 3 great Zepho sages. BD-1 will aid you on your journey. He will be your guide. Alright, and that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, in the next and last video of the databank reading entries, we will do the characters and the Empire. As always, thank you very much for watching and for listening. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.